Hi, I'm Michael Owen and I'm thrilled to join WEEX as their global brand ambassador. In football, success comes from precision, speed and strategy. Every move matters. With 1,000 plus trading pairs, you can trade spot, futures and more. And security? WEEX leads the way with Plus, a 1,000 Bitcoin protection fund. Join me on WEEX, where new wealth is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Adrian Zdunczyk, CMT, Charter Market Technician, CryptoBurp. Welcome to the 7th edition of Trading Congress. And it's been a blast already since we had a little bit of a kickdown yesterday. With a ground opening, we had a couple of sessions about the Bitcoin seasonality and the overall state and status of the on-chain tools and what on-chain tools are telling us about the market. However, today we have a proper legend on the show. The person who I definitely remembered as one of the key spotlights, of the most recent event that we got a chance to meet. However, before we get a full kind of like a mystery resolved, I want to give a proper shout out to our incredible partners at WEEX and edX, who are incredible partners and sponsors for this edition of Trading Congress. So huge shout out to WEEX, incredible people. I had got the pleasure to meet those bunch of legends, and each and every single person I ever spoke with that not only knows and is aware of WEEX. I think it's very difficult to match your energy, to match your creativity, to match the whole enthusiasm, especially when everything else is drowning. So welcome to the show, Andy. Andy is a CEO of WEEX, like I said, an incredible partner. So huge shout out to you. Goes full credit goes to where it's due. And let's kick it off by asking, how are you doing, man? How's it going?
It is such a beautiful evening, perfect weather in this part of the world today. And, I'm looking at a landscape of opportunity. Right now, it's the cheapest. You're going to get some crypto. So it's been a pretty good week for those of us who have been through it before. It's a very tough week for people that are super new to the space and have never seen these types of adjustments or resistance before. I think the Trading Congress is well timed. This is a moment in time where everybody needs a little bit of clarity, a little bit of information, and I think you're going to get a lot here today.
Oh yeah, and speaking of the whole enthusiasm, that I brought up in the beginning, Andy, you're gonna see it throughout the session, everybody, because Andy is this type of a person that spreads incredible aura around him, right? And this aura is something, I hear, some people, kind of like say overall, that it's cliche, to say that someone has an aura, but it's a fact. Like, to people like Elon Musk, people like, like it or not, Donald Trump, leaving the political opinions aside, like strong leaders, people who have the audacity, people who have, I should say, well, in the positive aspect, people who have a lot of breakthrough kind of like an attention, that they're collecting. We may like them, we may hate them. It's a matter of personal preference. However, Well, good thing is that I don't know a single person who would talk bad about Andy, and I know every single person who would speak in that very superlatives about Andy. So that's something, and spreading this very good aura is something that I mean about this leadership, kind of like just setting the very right benchmark and a very high bar. So. Starting off with a huge congratulations to you, Andy, and what you've accomplished already. But talk to me about how WEEX truly build a trader focused crypto platform, right? Because there are so many platforms, but how is it truly trader focused?
What a wonderful word you did use earlier. Like audacious is so many meanings, but let's talk facts. There's 750 centralized exchanges and more growing every day. Why another one? Why is another participant come to the market and is in your inbox and on your screen? That takes a lot of audacity and that much competition to push through with something. It takes bravery. Here's the truth. About 2 years ago, I looked at the landscape of the market, and I noticed, quite frankly, that most competitors in this space were shifting their focus away from the Web3 user, the crypto-centric user, the degen that helped build and make cryptocurrency real and what it is today, and shift their focus to Web2 users and financial people and everything that kind of goes against the thesis of why crypto exists. Crypto exists to build community on a consensus that we're all going to share and exchange value in a new medium that's fair with as little intermediaries and friction as possible. And my competition made this big shift to create friction, to go for a different type of demographic and consumer that really doesn't serve the interest of traders, the people that have been here since day one. So I wanted to make sure that we went and built a product that's not just for the people, but actually by the people. And to do that, the beginning of the early days of WEEX, our campaign was really not focused on marketing and big promotions and pushing this thing onto people. It was more so a roadmap. How do we make this product so good that if you showed it to one of your relatives on the holidays, would you get invited back next year to that dinner? Or would you become crazy Uncle Crypto? So it was the mindset of like, why don't we just go straight to the consumer, show them this product, let them test it, give them a futures bonus, a welcome bonus, like some of your campaigns and rewards are offering right now to the audience that is watching this, and see for yourself. There's great salesmen out there, there's great business development agents out there, but don't take their word for it. Go try it, because this thing either helps you achieve the comprehensive risk-based approach you have for trading crypto, or it doesn't. And there really is no gray area for crypto. It either does what it needs to do or it does not. So I think that humble beginning of literally just feature requests every day for a year, in our sprints and our roadmap meetings, just like prioritizing trading view and stop losses, take profits, instant settlement, all the things in an order matching engine that matter when you're trading at high volume, you're trading at high leverage, when you're making big gains. A lot of traders out there don't realize that even if you make a great position on an altcoin, are you doing it in an order book with any liquidity? And this is something you find out when it's too late, when you hit slippage. So in WEEX, what we've been super proud of is just putting our thumb on the pulse of what consumers really were asking for, and really building to that niche, which nobody else chose to do. It's crazy, but here we are.
Oh yeah, and there's a whole bunch of thoughts that I've overall collected in my, so to speak, like 9-year career over here. That there are many companies, many cryptos, many projects, many coins. Kind of like they come and go. They are a song of the past. They are basically here for one moment. And it's very difficult to build a long-lasting empire, right? And the only way to do it, of course, well, again, another cliche is to build the relationships, right? And to have this natural connection, to have this real person-to-person touch. And I think what even pops it up even more, on the list lately is what YouTube, has been doing with blocking and flagging automatically many different accounts, and vast majority of streamers and broadcasters on traders. Many people, had been literally blocked and struck, out of with given strikes and so on, without any warning, without really explaining what's happening. And what I mean is, it's very easy to build this reputation and then ruin this in the whole thing, basically watch it burn down, in a matter of a second. All right. And once it's built, once it's destroyed, it's very difficult to restore it, right? Because we're going to be naturally harmed. We're going to be, pessimistic about it and so on, which is why it's so important, to to acknowledge those relationships. And again, it might sound like a cliche, but in fact, this is what really the whole economy is built about. If you think about it, right? Even
And if I could add to that, because we're on such a lovely thread here, think of the name that we picked for the exchange. WEEX, WEEX. Who's
oh
we?
yeah,
Me, you, the builders, the developers, the traders, the market, everybody. It's a community. And we're really leaning into that identity to be that community exchange where if you see something that could be better, because our motto here is improve every day by 1%. And you can't have a moonshot every 24 hours, but you can work on yourself every day. And if we see anything in the comments, if you tweet at us on X, if you jump in the Telegram and talk to us, if we see something that can make it even 1% better, that goes on a list. So be a member of the community. If you're in the Burb audience, we would love to hear from you as you're using the product, as you're enjoying these rewards, as you're seeing the ins and outs of the platform and all the things that it can do for you, whether it's the auto earn functions that we've opened up, the copy trading division, or just the spot and futures order book. We want to know what you're thinking. So don't be afraid. In this space, the squeakier the wheel, the more grease you get.
oh man, that's a nice quote. I'm stealing it, and that's so funny. But speaking of building on top of the shoulders to what you've already built, the continuity, as we grow, of course, there are a lot of hardships, there are a lot of different stages, that we have to adapt as people, as traders, as individuals, as businesses, right? And since Weeks, I really like the combination. I really love the name, by the way. We Exchange, I love it so much. The relationship, what I've noticed, for instance, a very good example for everybody's, who's watching and listening. We happened to be when I met Andy, when I happened to meet Andy in person. We were in Lisbon in CCCC Crypto Content Creator Campus, and there happened to be a couple of exchanges, a couple of booths, a couple of very decent, highly established people for a very high esteem. Unincluded. And what I notice is that while vast majority of the crypto projects founders, companies, and that stretches all over the experience of the conference at all, they are passive, if that makes sense, right? What was really striking me about WEEX, and it was not only like an extremely creative, a very extravagant in the most positive sense of this, room stealing basically setup for the booth itself. And I've noticed that spread a couple. It was not only Lisbon. I saw it. In Talking 2049, I saw it everywhere, right?
We've been circulating each other a few times here, Burb.
Oh yeah, I know. What it really strikes me is that you are very in for the people. You take a step into in the direction of the people, right? You are very proactive about it. You are very standing out and outstanding in what you do in terms of approaching the people in the most positive, creative, genuine manner. That's something that I truly appreciate, because vast majority of the projects and people do it completely opposite, right? They kind of like take them into the booth. They force them, they pitch them through the throat, basically, and just have a very, very dirty opposite, outcome than the one that anticipated. However, here it's genuinely built, this another cliche, but it felt like home. Like for a moment when I spoke with you, when I spoke with your team, it literally felt like genuine. All right. And that genuinity, I keep highlighting this because it's exactly the commodity, the very scarce commodity in crypto. The vast majority of the projects that people are not genuine, and you are.
There's a word for it too. I noticed this being in the space now since 2016, that in certain parts of the world, the way they operate, they call it horse racing. Everything's a competition, and the competition starts from within. And it's ruthless. You see people changing exchanges all the time. A guy that you loved over here, he's over there the next conference you see him at. The partnerships are very disloyal, disingenuous. People are being paid to promote and say things are good that they don't use. Like, it's all the wrong way to do it. At WEEX, we went with the mindset of, how do you build a family? I love Starbucks and their motto of inspiring and nurturing the human spirit one cup of coffee at a time. How can we, as a community, inspire and nurture each trader one trade at a time? That was kind of the mindset that we went into this with. So there's no real internal competition on our team. Everybody's a teammate. Everybody's working together to make the best outcome happen, not just for one individual, which is where you get the greed and the selfishness that ruins companies, but more so for the unit and for everybody to benefit. And the real benefit, because it's the customer, the front line. If they're having a good experience, if they're being taken care of, if somebody's available in their time zone, in their language that's familiar to them, that they've seen in an event, to just answer some questions at an anxious moment, to be there. When we see, like on October 10th, this unexpected product behavior of a major LP impacting the whole market and nobody has any answers, right? So that's become so integral to the identity of what we're trying to do at WEEX. And I think that that's what you're really touching on when we talk about how we, interact and engage with the audience.
That's correct, Andy. That's correct. Which actually brings me to another point, because you have at WEEX, the first day listings, right? And that's what basically gives traders the very early access, to real alpha, to what's really moving, the needle as of the moment. And talk to me why it matters. Why should we care about it? Why bother at all?
It's the worst feeling in the world when you buy something at the top, and you're buying something at the top when everybody around you is dragging their feet to support the project. And Bert, I kind of want to set the stage a little bit before we dive into the rest of this answer, because we do something very differently here for projects, and that's why a lot of them come to us first. WEEX is the first exchange ever to make projects affiliate partners. It was not something that was a standard or happening 2 years ago. So we realized, just from my own research, listing over 180 ICOs from 2018 to 2024, this is how many I did. The highest cost for a token, for a meme coin, for a community, is going to market, is getting in front of people. But the most important thing you need a budget for is the community, is paying your developers, doing your buybacks and burns, making sure that you can throw rewards into a pot, making sure that you can have a side event where people get together. And if you spend all your money on the listing, right, and then you get nothing back in the terms of market making, you get no revenue sharing on the value you're creating, bringing that audience that you work so hard to build to a platform that they get liquidated on, right? This user in a week could be a non-trader now. We needed to rework that model as an industry. So what we decided at WEEX is, instead of a listing fee, you're really paying for a prize pool. And that prize pool, users have to deposit a trade. That trade creates a fee. That fee is shared with the project rebates their cost. Now, this gets really crazy very quickly, because if you have a large audience, and this, I know this as influencers, it just takes one whale. One big guy decides one day, through your token, he's going to find WEEX. He's going to go long Ethereum at 200 times leverage. He's going to go short Bitcoin during market volatility at 100 times leverage. He's going to create an enormous trading fee. That fee alone from one guy could recoup 100% of your go-to-market costs. And as he continues to use the product, those trades settle every day, instantly, every night, every 24 hours. It's a treasury wallet long-term now. We have so many case studies with layer ones and tokens where they came to the table with 20K, 30K, 40K, which is already way lower than what they pay at other exchanges. They're paying 60K to $1 million at some places. And that money comes back in a week through passive income. And then over time, as it grew and the token performed, that audience compounded. I can name for privacy details, I won't give their actual names, but there are many teams settling $10, $20, $30, $40,000 USDT a day and putting that back into their community because they chose to list here. So that's why, when it's early, when they're just going to market for the first time, when they haven't really found that audience, when they really aren't so sure about how well they're going to perform after TGE, we typically are the first stop. We help people get from the crawl phase to the walk run, because once you've recouped your revenue here, you've got plenty of money to go list elsewhere, and you get all the resources you need to keep that order book stable and healthy. So the people that believe in you and hold that token are there for the long term. The customer life cycle is a phrase that I've never heard my competitors even say. They're just talking about new. How quickly can we do this? How quick? No. What's so important is you take a consumer and you make them a better version of themselves. That includes traders, that includes tokens, that includes developers. When you leave everybody better than you found them, the industry gets better. Maybe you make a little bit more money every day for the short term. The long term is you thrive. And that's the secret to WEEX's success, is we just figured out, where's every single level that somebody's missed the consumer, that somebody wasn't thinking about the trader. And listings is one of those biggest things. Be first, make sure these projects have resources, be supportive. And when you do events, you saw some of our real estate that we took at Token 2049 and Crypto Content Creator Campus. I don't know if you saw the tokens that showed up, because a bunch of the guys we listed showed up with their audience, had a bunch of merch, floated into the square footage. You know, these are expensive booths. Not a lot of projects can afford to get one. And we let them borrow some of the space for free, because that's what it means to support your community and to support your customer. Is you don't squeeze blood from the stone at every step of the way. You make sure that they're sustainable and that it will come back to it. You know, they have a long customer life cycle. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
the
man.
longest way to answer that question. I'm sure I could have given you a quick answer.
No, that's a see that's exactly what I meant, right? That's exactly what I meant by this genuinity. I mean, this genuinity is tangible to an extent. You can feel it, and then it's not monetary. I mean, you can be monetary, of course, right? Just like you say, there are a lot of with anything affiliate related ever. You know, most of the richest people I know, basically, they are off the affiliate in one foot or another, one way or another, right? Because just like you say, it takes one outlier, right? At times we just have to expose ourselves to luck, to this opportunity, just like in trading, right? For
Yes.
not 10 months in a row, we can have an absolute chop back and forth and nothing's really happening. But then once in a while, this massive runner comes up that just covers every single other thing, right? That you've suffered through, and that couldn't be. And see, that revolves around like trading, about anything affiliate that doesn't have to be trading related, right? And this, like, of course, business, like you can found and start like 20 different businesses until one catches on, right? It's like the whole venture capital type of investments, right, where you just hunt for this one unicorn, or the blue chips and so on in the end, and that turn out to be blue chips. So in the end, it is the outliers that make the difference in terms of the actual outcome and how fast we grow. However, in order to be able to give ourselves a chance to face this and to meet this outlier, we have to exactly do what you're doing, right? Open up ourselves to this opportunity, and that's exactly what you're doing. It's genuine, it's tangible, you can feel it, and that's definitely scarce. I can't recall last time I saw an attitude like that, an approach like that, from a founder, from a project, from
And you said a word a moment ago. You mentioned consistency.
Oh yeah.
There's a point to make here. Most projects, once that listing campaign is exhausted, when they list anywhere, that's it. It's all the support they're getting from that exchange. There was that fund and it's done.
Yeah.
With the WEEX affiliate program, the moment the listing campaign's over, we just switch to the affiliate budget, and we provide these projects from our own side the funds that they're going to need to continue to convert and help the audience grow. This is so critical. Those extra months of bonuses and trading rewards and competitions keep that excitement alive in the community. Andy Leanne on X has kind of become the chief meme officer of crypto Twitter, I like to call the guy. And if you go on his space and you listen to the audience there, their biggest piece of feedback about the industry is, hey, we did this huge campaign. It was awesome. We came out to one of these events. We did a side event elsewhere. It was awesome. And that was it. They ghosted us. The moment that all those dollars were done, they were on to like the new next shiny thing. It's not the experience you're going to have at WEEX. At WEEX, we've been with these projects since we listed them. We continue to support them. Same as the influencers. There really is no end to what we can do together.
Oh yeah, man. I couldn't agree more. Which still kind of like just revolves around. I definitely want to take a little bit of your brain from your perspective, Andy. What matters, for first day listings, right? Because how does that change the game? Because of course, like I dig what you're saying, from my perspective, but being completely new user, right? Why should I bother basically come 2 weeks and then just take on the first day's listings? Why is it so important to me as a prospective user?
The earliest entry is the lowest price you're ever going to pay when you hold a coin, and getting the lowest price possible and having that opportunity to enjoy the ride up, because some ride ups are 45 minutes, some ride ups are 45 days, some write ups are months. Most of these tokens from the most recent cycle, you get 45 minutes to 45 days. It's been quite a high turnover. We saw over 100,000 Solana tokens. You know what I mean? Like, so many coins have come to market in the last 12 months. So with that much, let's call it overwhelming information, that much volume of stuff coming at you as a consumer, seeing an exchange pick out ones early, first, and fast, and then get you credible information so you can do some research about it, learn about the background, check out the token team, TVL, things like this that matter to you as a consumer, the market cap, etc. Not only are you getting an early chance to participate, you're getting enough information to make a good decision about what you're participating in, which is kind of the other piece of it. Verb channels like yours are providing the truth and the thought leadership that is so muddy around the world, because there's a lot of guys you could just pay to say something's great in crypto, but then there's a lot of people like you who are not for sale. And if you don't like something, we're going to hear it. And that's super important to the formula of why this all works. So early entry, lowest price, best opportunity to capture the liquidity on the high, and not find yourself FOMOing out into a top and then just losing all that value, being the exit liquidity of whoever was first. So being first matters.
Being first matters. That's, well, I don't think there is anything to add on top of that, man. I mean, but that's so funny, because that's exactly what I mean. Every single price that I gave you at the very beginning, you confirm it, not just with with what you say, with how you say, but it's actually this genuine. I know that is true. I know that it's real, and you're 100% correct about it, right? And speaking of, kind of like, the user journey, right? As we encourage, as we get encouraged, to give ourselves a chance, to expose ourselves to a chance to get like early into as early as possible into different takes and projects. Being given this opportunity matters a lot, because there are going to be people, of course, who are going to be too lazy to take it up on it, but there are going to be people who are going to take it up, who are going to take us up on it, basically, and actually become multimillionaires. And there are multiple stories like that in the word of noise, there's this one piece of signal, there's this one person that, even if this one person it changes to your life, changes their life because of what you do, then that is sufficient. That is more than enough, right? Because you've made a change, you've made an impact. And that's is that what's happening with all your kind of like copy trading and the pro algo functions, all the functionality that you have democratized on the advanced trading side on WEEX?
What we're looking at is it making it easier to be a consumer, reducing as much friction as possible between a person and a good decision. That's kind of like the thesis of every little thing that we implement and integrate in WEEX, is how do we get you closer to making a good decision? Not a crazy decision, not a FOMO decision, not a risky decision, not an emotional decision, but a good one. And the tools that we've been integrating, from TradingView, from being able to chart, from being able to use the product on stream to explain to people your setup. So not just the copying aspect of making it like easy gains and easy trades, but understanding like the logic that this guy is using on the 20-day moving average, his Elliott wave theory, whatever model that he's operating within. It's because some of this stuff at the end of the day is a little bit superstitious as well, because crypto's only so old. Crypto's not a 200-year-old market like gold or silver, or these things where I've got literally centuries of data from people who aren't even on planet Earth anymore to help inform the decisions and help me predict where the market's going. And today, I could pump every year of history of blockchain data through a Grok or an AI tool and still come up a little bit short sometimes in these positions that I'm taking. So it's so key to build your toolbox every day. Every influencer that you're watching, every channel that you're able to capture a stream from, that's a hammer, that's a screwdriver, that's a drill, that's a nail. That is something that you can take away from how this person's approaching the way they set up the trades, the way they research projects, the way they trade, why they trade, that maybe one day you'll become a copy trader, people can copy you. That's kind of the whole point of crypto here, is like, we need more thought leaders. We need more talent. I mean, I could just tell you from the HR perspective, when an exchange like ours or any exchange really posts a new job today, it's pretty hard to ask for 5 years of experience, because a lot of the products and using today didn't exist 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You can't really have that kind of experience. You have to create your talent in the business. And with our family model, I think that we've taken a lot of kids and a lot of people at different journeys of their life, not necessarily kids in every case. And over 3 or 4 years, turn them into business leaders, the founders, project owners, department heads, C-suite. The one thing that I'm super proud of, the product aside, the audience aside, is the quality of person that we've given back to the community of crypto. I hope, the Nicks and the Tommies and all the boys,
incredible people,
girls of the world, aren't they kind?
Oh, they're incredible.
People
Huge shout out to them, by the way.
They're gonna buy you a beer first before they pitch you our product. I mean, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we need more of in crypto is more bulls. And I'm not going to swear on here, but we need a lot less bullshit. If you know what I mean.
Yep. I mean, again, I mean, it's so hard to just fill in any gap because there is none, right? This is just completely exhausted, and I can only agree and fully say that every single person that I met from WEEX, fully commendable approach right there, and couldn't agree more.
And I'm so proud of these guys because, like, look, I'm gonna do this. I don't normally do this, but I have.
Yeah.
So we went to Token 2049. We went to the grand opening party.
Oh, nice.
And we stepped in the avenue, and I got handed this. Nobody told me this was happening. This was a complete surprise. This is the award for most influencer-friendly exchange of 2025. And when I looked at all the different title sponsors and people that have paid for that event, and we were the ones being handed the reward, that blew my mind. I think it's a testament to what we've been talking about on this call right here.
Oh, yeah.
It's so important that you put the community first, because if you do, all the success comes.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to TBV, Toby Brent. Shout out to Mario Nafal, IVC Group, KLO Capital, all those great guys for putting on a show and handing that to us and reaffirming what we were hoping.
Oh, yeah.
It's that, people were happy with us. And one thing I'll touch on, I don't mean to go too long on this, but
please do.
KOL, influencer, these are words that get used a bit too much.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They're a bit over.
Oh, yeah, they're like overused. And
key opinion leader? What does that mean? I think for crypto, there's something very specific that we could say. That's not KOL, it's not influencer. WEEX works with genuine product users. And that's a fun acronym, GPU, because GPUs are what power everything.
Oh, yeah.
From computers and whatnot in the world.
Oh, yeah.
So genuine product users, people that actually trade on the exchange, that are doing it live, that you can see the good experiences. You can see some bad experiences. Not everybody wins every trade. A 60 to 70% win rate is super high in crypto. So seeing that authenticity is key. And I challenge people in the audience that when you're watching channels and you're looking at project influencers and trying to understand, what they really feel about something, the number one way to determine if it's something to listen to or something to tune out is if it's authentic. Are they actually using it? Do these guys really hold these tokens? Do they actually trade on these exchanges they're talking about? Do they play the games they're promoting? Because if I see, one more of these crypto app tap to play games from an influencer and he's just pointing to a video he didn't shoot, I'm going to scream. It's so key to stop doing paid shilling. I mean, I think in this environment, post bull cycle and in the non-altcoin season we're experiencing right now, people can smell it. You got to be real, and you have to be making real content for real. You got to use these things. Otherwise, there's no point watching you anymore. I've seen so many influencers lose their whole community because people are just sniffing out. These guys are being paid to tell me they love stuff that they've never touched. Whereas with WEEX, everybody, when they first touched it, first told me something that they wanted. So make it better. You know what I mean? We worked on the product first in almost every case, and then you saw it. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a very good reason to be proud of, especially just since like you say. Let me touch on that, expand on that. In my career, like I'm guilty of a lot of mistakes. Like the whole book, about the mistakes alone would be probably this thing, like 3,000 pages, just on the mistakes that I made along the way.
Same.
I got hacked, robbed, scammed, exit, rug pulled. People stole money, like exchanges stole money from me. My friends stole money from me that I borrowed from them. Like each and every single aspect, that you can think of, in terms of getting it wrong, I did it. So I'm guilty of all of those. But at the same time, it opens up your mind, and opens up your, or I should say eyes, into who's who and what is what, into uh, well, the difference between the actions and the words, right? And the actions speak always louder than words. And just like you say, there are a lot of bad actors in the space, right? And
Yes.
for instance, when I advise to the Minister of Finance, to celebrities, to football players, to people like, we had a whole bunch of gatherings where, the whole Justin Timberlake's kind of like a crew, we put together like a very nice event, for them, with crypto being underneath. It was in the background, and that later translated into very fruitful, opening discussions on, how this Web 2 and the Web 3 world kind of like, can unite. And from our perspective, in Web 3 and crypto, from founders' perspective, from builders' perspective, uh, we at times, I see we're at times, in general, too closed within our own kind of like a bubble, that we do not see that the world outside um, is completely on another wavelength, right? I mean, and we talk to them as if we talked to people of Web 3, and they have no clue what we're talking about, right? And it doesn't just come down to this level, to the simple level of a very discussion using terms that I don't understand from Web 3, decentralization back there. What is decentralization? What is blockchain, right? When I speak and explain,
DCA.
oh man, exactly, right? When I speak and explain, the blockchain to the people, that never saw blockchain, like I'm asking them, have you ever seen blockchain? Like, do you even know what it looks like, right? And just open up the blockchain
Right.
explorer, for instance, right? But that's a most of the discussions revolve around some imaginary things that people never can attribute anything tangible to it, and it just stays in this imaginary kind of like sphere of their mind, because they cannot touch it, right? They cannot see it, so to speak. They cannot smell it. It's very non-tangible and untangible to them, intangible, I should say. And in the end, it's a completely different world, right? And as long as we, as the founders, as the people, like I said, as the users, continue to retain the same level of complexity, we're never going to get full adoption, right? Which is why, in order to have this spread, across to the Web 2, we have to, well, first of all, get on the same wavelength, get on the same, position of that we understand each other. So of course, it's a matter of education, it's a matter of awareness in the end, right? But it's a matter of goodwill of a person from Web 3, in order to use the language, first of all, that they understand, and use to show off the products that they actually use and understand, right? Just exactly what you say, because most of the people are bad actors, right? And we had instances and cases in the past where these one bad actor, takes down the whole industry, basically, in terms of their reputation. It burns everything down. And when you speak with people, about crypto, the thing that they recognize is not the stable coins, being worth than $300 billion market cap, right? It's not the RWA, it's not the large thing, bringing the tokenization of crypto assets as the next generation of assets at all, tokenization of funds, of securities, and so on. They don't see it. It's only us who see it, and we have an impression that everybody else see it, right? But what everybody else see it from outside of crypto is the lens of a TV screen that they saw the black headline on 2022 that FTX buried down like $2 billion of people's money. Absolute disaster, absolute despair, and so on. And that's the label that crypto has. And we even double down on that label because we make it so not understandable to everybody else outside. So much complex, completely unnecessarily complex, right? That it doesn't encourage everybody else. In fact, it discourages everybody else. It just pushes them away, right? And it's that. Don't you feel the same way, Andy?
And that's why genuine product users demystifying complicated concepts, topics, acronyms, and similar are kind of the foundation, the core knowledge base of what you need to kind of familiarize yourself with before you dive deep into like leverage trading, into API products. It's something that we're innovating, and I'm super proud to announce it here, is the AI Alpha Wars. AI, artificial intelligence, especially in crypto, is this mystic thing. We see all these projects mentioned that they're using AI in some strange application to kind of build their audience up and hype that token launch. We see lots of companies say that they're starting to build with AI, and they're doing all sorts of fanciful things that to the general consumer it's gibberish. Like, I don't if you were to ask my aunt or my uncle, like, what are they doing over there at XAI and OpenAI with this stuff, they would have no clue. So with the AI Alpha Wars on Weeks.com for the next 3 months, you'll be able to join a team with somebody that knows what they're talking about. You'll be able to go to workshops, learn from people that have used AI and traded with API before in the past. And you can demystify, unravel the mystery of some of these new concepts that, by next year, they're going to be so prevalent that we're going to be like, wow, that was new a year ago. Because crypto has been innovating at a speed of light.
Oh yeah.
Like every 30 days is a lifetime in our industry. Sometimes a day
Oh yeah.
changes years of research. So I'm super psyched. I mean, I hope there's a team, Herb. If anybody has
Oh yeah.
seen the pre-registration, it's open right now. If you're an AI firm, a project building with AI, you want to sponsor one of these workshops, get your token in front of a brand new audience, help hype up your TGE, help build your community, help just grow in general. We're open to it. Send us a DM at weeks_official. Join the event page right now on dorahacks.io. We're going to be sharing the link everywhere. It should be on at weeks_official right now. I'm sure Bird's going to copy that link
Oh yeah.
somewhere for you.
Yeah, we're gonna put
If
it in
you
the
really need
description.
it.
Yeah.
And let's get people trading with AI and the more fun side of it, what I'm looking forward to, against AI. Man, I cannot wait to see man versus machine live in Dubai. I'm so hyped to see what's going on. Like, I know in the world of chess right now, there's a lot of chess programs that could beat the master rated players like Magnus and these guys. But we're not there yet, crypto. There's a lot of AI tools out there that some guy in his living room right now on his laptop is going to emerge and conquer. And I can't wait to meet that guy. Like, that guy's out there somewhere. Like, we're going to find so much hidden talent doing this. We're going to create so many new thought leaders. We're going to add so many new community members to the Trading Congress just through this initiative. So if you haven't checked it out yet, the AI Alpha Wars, make sure you're participating, or at the very least, watch it, because we're going to do it like esports. We want to take these complicated concepts, like Bird was saying, and just make it so digestible, make it more approachable, make it easier to crypto.
Oh man, and I'm grateful for that already. Like I said, because there are many, many bad headwinds overall, and you make it into everything so much easier, right? And speaking of all the headwinds and so on, I think, I keep repeating that word, that keyword so often, simply because that's a general consensus, right? I mean, we can pretend that it's not, but the sentiment is in absolute lows, right? We're having a pretty relaxed discussion. However, the reality is that vast majority of the people, per the general consensus, and the sentiment, and even the S&P 500, underneath the Magnificent Seven, which is a whole different bunch of a story. But it seems to a lot of people that the whole world is burning, right? And they have a lot of a sense to it. They have a lot of a sense, and I'm not even touching on the politics, right? I'm talking like their jobs. I'm talking the unemployment. I'm talking the whole economic, stand out there. Just to give more context, the Wendy's stock, for instance, is 50% down on the year. Chipotle stock is 50% down on the year, 48% as of yesterday. The general consensus is that the regular consumer cannot afford to buy a cheeseburger, right? And that's their fault. That's, the market is as close as it gets to reading people's minds ultimately, right? Ahead of their actions, even more so. So this literally betrays, so to speak, the people's fault. The general consensus is that we're not going to spend money on cheeseburgers. We're not going to spend money on, on a grill food stuff, because we don't know the future, right? And that is the consumer discretionary. That is the simple, basic food market. Not to mention even anything else, the housing permits, or the durables, as in the new cars, new washing machines and stuff. It seems that there's been general consensus that it's been very hard, very difficult, and that's not even what I think. I've been lucky to go heavy out of the crypto, in the Q3, so I'm a little bit more relaxed than the vast majority of the people, it seems. However, the hardships have been the dominant theme. So from your perspective, Andy, from Weeks' perspective, as well, from your leadership perspective, what's the current market situation like? How do you see it? Do you see anything similar, or is it completely different?
No, I totally see what you're saying, but let's focus, because we're going to give people not hopium, but a little bit of truth and reality, so they can help temper their expectations and feel a little bit better about what's going on. Now, if we look just at the last 100 years, We'll just use that as our sample size for data. In the last 100 years, consumer confidence in every marketplace has always been highest when there was new innovation that created new opportunity and new jobs for everybody. All right. So in the last cycle, up until what we're seeing right now with AI and cryptocurrency, a lot of those opportunities dried up. Your option to be an entrepreneur, to launch a restaurant, fast food service chain, a small business, anything like this, and then go to market with that concept, and then scale that concept into either a franchise model or a multinational model or a conglomerate or whatever that looks like. So few new entrepreneurs have broken through in the last decade, because in the last decade, there's so many enormous multinational corporations, enormous companies with tens of billions and trillions of dollars in their bank accounts that have been very able to copy and bring together, to market copycat products and mimic products very quickly, and to essentially drown your small business out. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been told by somebody that, Amazon has just made it impossible for me to get outside of my community. I can serve my community, but the second I take this business online, there's this big box that's crushing me. So what is crypto then? Crypto is the blue water where the jobs are not fully saturated with huge companies that can just replace you with a machine or do it themselves. Like, most of these enormous entities that we're referring to from these other traditional verticals have no crypto department, have no digital assets division, have no interest in the space, and haven't touched it, which is remarkably, for our generation and hopefully the one immediately following us, because I'm about 40. So I'm thinking of the guys that are between, girls that are between 21 and 38 right now, that they're going to have enough blue water where they can be innovators, where they can take brand new business models and company concepts to market. I look at things like crypto bubbles. I look at things like Sensei, where you can put your consciousness on chain. I look at D-Travel and Travala, which is, the travel industry for crypto, and how many sub-services and sub-companies you can build around just the idea of, let me use my crypto to book my travel going forward. Like, that blue water is so clear here. And it's the only vertical, the only market, the only industry today where that's still real. So if you're getting into it, oh my God, you're lucky. Because now is like the perfect time. Prices are low, discounts are available. My best win on Ethereum is because I bought it at 1,300. It had to go to 1,300 for me to buy it at 1,300, right? So these are important things to look at in the cycle. You can't just look at crypto for price action. You need to see crypto holistically. You need to see it for what it is. It's a community. It's rails that you can put vehicles on. Now, what is your vehicle? Is it a financial service product? Is it a community meme token? Is it a utility for your video game ecosystem so you can grow your audience faster and more efficiently? Like, what does that look like? If you're a type of video game that's making content, you can't get payment providers, so you could do loot boxes and a whole, micro transaction system. Crypto is your answer.
Oh yeah.
You could write a smart contract, fractionalize a token 100 billion trillion times, and always keep your economy current with the real metrics of crypto. It's, people have missed the point with what's going on right now. The doors have just been opened, and everybody's acting like the ship is sinking. The market cap of our industry right now, the math alone, it tells the story I'm trying to tell much more succinctly, because the market cap of crypto today is between $3 and $3.5 trillion. That's every trader, every coin, every wallet, even the ones that people lost their hard drives in the dump or whatever. All those together is only $3 to $3.5 trillion. Now, for the average person, that sounds like a lot of money, but coming from my background, compliance, the financial markets, I can tell you right now, there's like 20 or 30 institutions on Wall Street, these hedge funds, these asset managers, these broker dealers, these market, they've got 10, 20, 30 trillion under management. Some of these firms have less than 50 employees. So we're talking about 50 guys in one room with more buying power than millions and millions and millions of crypto traders. I'm sorry to say, the industry at the stage that we're at right now is as microscopic as it's ever going to be. It seems like big money, and I know a lot of people are hurting in the markets right now with the correction that we saw in the latest cycle, the thin liquidity on altcoins, the over leveraged trading in the futures markets, all these things that triggered, the instability in price. But the truth is, you've never been luckier, because right now, if you don't just look at crypto as a place to trade, but you look at it as that new medium for starting a business, for getting into an innovative company, a startup, and learning something that can give you tools for life, like it's right now. So I'm bullish on crypto. It's certainly a bear period. We're seeing a lot of liquidity corrections, and we'll continue to see liquidity corrections until something changes, whether there's more inflow, we get some great news on the rate cuts, or whatever's coming. But that's my answer. And I said it with passion because, brother, I believe it. This is the time to build.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, wow. We're gonna have to script it down. We're gonna have to script it down and put it all over, because that's a true statement. That's a true statement of a really aware builder, right? And again, there are a lot of things that we take or assume for granted, right? As in, you would assume that most founders, most people would think the way that they do, in terms of seeing this opportunity, seeing how microscopic we are, seeing how little we are when compared with the world outside. That's what I mean by us living in our own delusional bubble at times as a crypto, as Web3, right? Until we close the door, walk out of the basement and actually see that there is a whole bunch of new horizons, basically, that we didn't even know exist, that crypto can apply so well into, right? And and I mean, I really listen to you with as much passion as you shared. that is really big vision right there, and actually, as subscribe myself to it, Andy. Very, very, very good approach.
And let's double down on that statement. Look, if you're a builder out there, if you're a token project, if you're struggling to find an exchange to support you, if you find that there's just too much friction between you and going to market and finding a customer, you got to talk to us. You need to come out to one of these events, hit us up at WEEX_official, talk to the team. There's always somebody standing by to help you. Today we've got almost 600 employees worldwide. The company's been growing faster than I can. Just 2 years ago, we had like 2 million traders and 150 people on staff. And today, we're pushing some days like 7.2, 7.3 million traders worldwide. We're available in over 15 languages. You can go sign up right now at weeks.com, and the link in the description, and try it out. There's a bonus reward for you to try it out. You can ignore everything we said today. Go just play with it. We'll give you a couple bucks. Tell us what you think. And it's exciting. I'm so happy we're together here.
Yeah, likewise, man. And to even quote you on that as well, for everybody who's unaware, well, what Andy says is true, because Weeks actually prepared special bonuses for everybody who's watching and listening to Trading Congress 2025. And it does get exciting. It does get exciting because all attendees are getting access to the very specially prepared rewards, and which include 30,000 USDT welcome bonus poll, right, for the Trading Congress people. That is a lot of money. Free 1 month VIP 2 trials for every single user who is coming from Trading Congress. An additional 20 USDT bonus for the first 500 new users who sign up. And we're going to have to, double down in terms of, you guys are going to find the links in every description, in every place, every post, every video, because that not only deserves, the highest recognition for what Weeks, built, for what Andy, for the passionate people, exactly what I mean, but this genuinity, right? They deserve the whole recognition that they were getting, this whole massive growth that they've been experiencing, exactly because of these types of actions. So it's genuinely Weeks giving you money to kick you start off, basically, right there, and you have it all. We're gonna definitely include attached instructions in the video description if you're watching that on YouTube, or in comments if you're watching that on
I
X.
do see some of the comments that we're getting on both sides of us that people are asking for a bit more information about the AI Alpha War. So
can we take them down? Can we go one by one? Can we look it down at them and kind of like go one after another?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just at a high level, the grand prize for the highest P&L for the outcome of this competition is going to be a Bentley. And then there's a series of cash prize rewards for everybody else in the top 10. And we're going to have a couple rounds, couple periods of competition. You're going to be using AI in conjunction with the Weeks Trading API to get the best profit and loss possible. Now, when we cut to the finals, everybody's going to get seated. Everybody will get $10,000 of a futures bonus to trade with. That'll be your starting money. And where you take that 10 grand, at the end, we'll rank everybody. top price gets the car, everybody else gets some cash. We're going to do some live workshops and fun experiences. You may see folks like Bird himself appear, or maybe host, I hope, one of these fun little things that we do on site and online. And that's essentially the competition. You can be an individual trader, or you can join a team, and it's man versus machine, compete to win.
I love it. And there are a couple of questions, from the audience, just like you rightly noticed. So we're gonna take some of them. Well, there's of course, a lot of appreciation, for what you mentioned, and there's one coming right up. Andy Adrian, so this is to you. In today's volatile crypto market, we often see 5% slippage on top 10 market cap pairs during news events, right? So can you walk us through, that's the second part of the question, can you walk us through the exact type of orders, routing logic, smart order features Weeks is using to kind of like satisfy those answers to those slippages? And yeah,
Yes.
exactly this.
So we're offering instant settlement on 800 pairs. Now we aggregate the most LPs. We have the best depth and spread of liquidity, as ranked by companies like CoinGecko and CoinMarketCapital for our altcoin pairs in our top 10. That's because, Weeks came to market at a time and built our product at a time. There were a lot of places to plug in. We're like the most centralized, decentralized exchange in that sense, where we're offering the most depth and spread of liquidity. Also on the listing side, these projects themselves are your market makers. You see the projects maintaining the order books personally. So their depth and spread of liquidity and the healthiness of their price action is critical. So they're all well invested into ensuring that when you come to Weeks, that you can make a big gain, you can close without slippage, you can get an instant match to your order. There's so many daily active traders. This is another aspect that people kind of overlook when we're talking about liquidity. It's the depth and the spread, it's who's doing the market making, and then of course, it's actually in the order book. So with Weeks, on some days you have hundreds of thousands of daily active users trading with you in those books, providing, liquidity on both sides of every pair. And this is like the thing I hear the least in terms of feedback is slippage. I never really get a comment or a remark from the audience about slippage. More so, the feedback that we're getting is, when are you going to list this thing? Or when are you going to list that thing? Or when are you going to do a competition for this particular product that's been out for a while, like a Pudgy or a Zirkit or one of these things? Now, this is not financial advice to go buy those pairs. I'm just trying to give some quick case studies here. But instant settlement on 800 pairs today, and having the most LPs behind us with the best depth and spread of liquidity on those altcoin futures has been the secret to our success. I can't speak the same for some of my competitors. A lot of my competitors look at this market as a very competitive space. They see it as like us versus them, P versus P kind of environment. Not at Weeks. Weeks, we look at crypto as like a huge party. It's the biggest party in the world. Maybe I don't want to slow dance with every single person at the party. But if you're here, we're going to pass the punch. We're going to make sure that you're having a good experience. And slippage is that number one thing. You want to know that when you take a big position and you make a big gain, you close it, you withdraw money, and you get your cash.
That's correct. And speaking of which, there are lots of love for you, Andy, in the comments. And I'm truly grateful for the session. I just literally looked at the clock, and it seems that we're running over the time. So we're gonna have to.
You're kidding. How long have you been doing this?
I know, right? I know. And then I think this is just a testimony of the genuity, because in real good company.
I think this audience is lucky we didn't have beers, because this would have just gone so long.
Which opens up the opportunity for us to do this exactly when we meet, man. Happy to follow through on this. And you're the type of a person that I love to sit down and talk, long nights, basically, because there's a whole bunch of visions that you and I share together, and I'm truly grateful for you sharing that as well. Not only with me, I'm truly blessed to be able to listen to your wisdom, also on behalf of everybody in the trading community right here within the Burbness and also beyond, because there are a lot of new people coming in for the Trading Congress to get back on their feet after recent volatility. Weeks is your new home, so congratulations. If you watch this show, there's going to be a whole bunch of, like I said, bonuses deposited for you for as long as you manage to find the link in the description to this video. If you're watching that on YouTube, you're going to drop this in the comment on X as well. Besides, do definitely make sure to follow Weeks. It's going to be at Weeks _official with the beautiful golden check mark and a beautiful Christmas theme logo and a Halloween theme logo. It all binds together. In the end, I want to welcome you and encourage you guys to go and check it out, because people like Andy, there are not many of them. This is really, really scarce and really, and I wish it was different, but it's not. So huge shout out to you, Andy, for coming over to the show.
Adrian, thank you so much. Thank you to the Crypto Burb audience, the Trading Congress, all you lovely people. I met so many people at the Crypto Content Creator Campus at Toga 2049. I'm sure a bunch of you are tuned in right now. What's up to everybody that we saw out there, had a beer with. If you're just tuning in, if you missed all this great stuff that we just talked about, I'll try to leave you with a quick summary of, with 750 exchanges to pick from, why WEEX? Why another black and yellow exchange? Well, we have instant registration. If from any country in the world right now, you can jump onto weeks.com, sign right up, get a taste of the product with the welcome bonus to try before you buy, and let us know, is this product actually going to work for the trading strategy you have? In addition to the instant registration, we do listings faster than anybody. More day one listings than anybody in the market. So you get the earliest entry at the lowest price on things that are going to the moon. You want to catch them before they've left Earth. Other things to think about, some of the lowest trading fees in crypto. You sign up now with the Burb link, you get instant VIP upgrade status. That means you pay less per trade. Save more of your money, be more profitable using the Burb link and trading on WEEX. We have the AI Alpha Wars. We have a lot of great futures trading competitions. We have the welcome bonus. We have copy trading. We have the auto earn function now. You can go ahead, stake, commit, get some money right away. We also have one of the most interesting utility tokens in business. We have the WXT token, which today is up almost 300% from issuance. So it's a great buy at under 3 cents. I hope to see it go to a couple bucks soon. I think that's enough. Let's leave it for the rest of the audience to try it themselves. And man, thank you so much for the platform, the ability to meet some great people in the nest. We're so happy to be one of your little birds here.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Andy of WEEX, CEO of WEEX, everybody. This is such an incredible inspiration. I think more people like this we need in the space. Thank you so much, Andy. And for everybody who's just joined, do not skip, do not leave, because the next session is going to follow right after. And we're going to have a pretty packed day today. God bless you. I'll see you around. Bye-bye.